If you're a top performer or someone who wants to be at the pinnacle of their game, whether you're a business person, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a business owner, anything that requires high performance, here are some secrets that you need to hear, especially when we're talking about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. So the whole backbone of performing at your best, there's so many layers you can dive into. At the end of the day, though, all performance is state related. So if you've dove into any sort of Tony Robbins work, he talks about the triad and using your physiology, your focus, and the meaning that you take from things and his practical tools, right? Physiology means your body, focus means the questions that you ask and the things that therefore you focus on, and then language determines the meaning that you put on things, words, whatever you want to say. And he talks about that controlling your state. At the end of the day, that creates all emotion, that creates all meaning, which creates an emotion. And there's really just a pattern of thoughts and then therefore a state that you get into that determines your performance. So if we back this up a little bit too, right? Okay, so those triads, those three things, are they conscious or are they subconscious? Some of them are conscious, but some of them are subconscious. And when you're at your best, when you're performing at your best, if you've ever talked to anyone that's just performed in the Super Bowl or, came through on fourth down or closed a really big client or gone up on a stage, and you just see they just go, it's like everything else goes dark and they get into a flow. It's because they've gotten out of their analytical conscious mind. They've gotten into their subconscious mind. I've been diving into this whole summer. And there's a really great book, How Champions Think, by Bob Rotella. I might be butchering that name. But he talks about how important that subconscious mind is. There's a statistic out there, I think it's something like 15% of our mind is conscious and then 85% is subconscious. So how do we access that subconscious in those primetime moments? How do we understand these triads, right, that are being ran in our subconscious, in our conscious mind to create the action that we inevitably take and the states that we're in when we're performing? Because the best state to perform in is, they'd say, 0 is you're absolutely dead. You don't want to be at the competition. 10 would be you're freaking out. You're throwing your head into the lockers. You're screaming at your counterparts, your colleagues. And so they say, the best performance lies somewhere around that 4 to 7 range, right? Depending on who you are. It's specific to the individual. So how do we access that? How do we get to a state, that performance state that gets us to into our subconscious, into all the work that we've put in? Because granted, I'm taking, for me, talking about all this stuff, I'm assuming that you put in the work, because we need to do the work. We need to be conscious. We need to be intentional, super intentional with our actions, with the conscious mind, and get the reps, build real confidence. Confidence comes through reps in order to then let go and surrender and get into that subconscious mind. You might be someone that you don't put in the work, and then you can just go cut it loose and you have incredible talent in whatever you're doing, and that works for you. That's only going to work so long, and it's only going to work in the areas that you're naturally talented in. Now, on the opposite side, you could be someone that you're so dominant in the process, you grind, you're really, really committed, disciplined, but when you get into competition, you're so intentional, you're trying to effort your way through everything that you're not able to get into your subconscious mind and just let go, which the other person, that's their specialty, right? They never think. So you can see there's a grab, a pull. It's a very yin and a yang that you need to balance if you want to perform at your highest level. So studying Bob Rotella's work, he talks about getting into the subconscious mind, understanding these patterns, because everything is just a pattern. You live patterns every single day, patterns of thought, patterns of focus, patterns of language, of communicating, right? The triad, bringing it back to that. And so how do we understand where these ones, especially that are subconscious, where they're coming from? So subconscious, all this sort of stuff, you can look at what are you avoiding? Where do you say consciously that you want something and then you don't take the actions to go get it. Or you've done the work, or you know you can do something, and then you get in the heat of the moment and you make a mistake. A lot of that is self-sabotage. It's not a lack of preparation. It's not the fact that your body doesn't know what to do, especially if you've already prepared. The reason we choke, right? This kind of goes into the self-sabotage piece of things. A lot of it is subconscious. A lot of it is subconscious. So use those little triggers when you have prepared for something and you still fail. Break it down. Be like, okay, what is going on here? Or if you didn't take the actions to prepare in the first place, what am I afraid of? What am I afraid of? This is all to perform at your best. And you need to do this dark work. They call it shadow work. Some people call it that. Where you really go into some deep dark. You're going to find a lot of these are linked back to, I don't even want to say traumas, but things that have happened in the past that they can be used for you, but right now they're not acting for you. So you really need to examine that. Like, why are you self-sabotaging? What are you afraid of? Why is this brain that is hardwired to protect you and not get you to peak performance? It doesn't even want you to step in the arena because it doesn't want you to get killed, right? It doesn't want you to get killed. So that's a lot of that. Those things that stop us from performing at our best are subconscious. Now, like I said, when you do the work, the subconscious is the answer. You want to get into that and you want to let your body do what it's capable of doing. How do we get in the subconscious? How do we get in the subconscious? Well, first, let's talk about the conscious, especially when you're preparing. First thing you can do is have a journal, some sort of a way to set an intention for every session, every time that you're working on your craft, whether that's business or that's sports. Set an intention. Write down 2 to 3 goals for that session, whatever it is, where you're working on your craft. Before you go do something, hey, I'm really going to be intentional about doing this. We're being conscious. We're using effort as the path to mastery. That is working in the subconscious. That's your preparation. That's your preparation. Then when it comes to performance, it's time, instead, I say in preparation, make it happen. In performance, let it happen. So when we want to get into our subconscious mind, there's a couple things. And these are gems. These are gems. Here we go. The first one is to smile a little bit. Smile. You'll notice when you're deep in work, whether you've done past schoolwork or you're doing business stuff, you might be frowning a little bit, right? Because you're so focused. You're in your conscious mind. We want to get in our subconscious. Do a little smile, a little smirk. Doesn't need to be crazy, right? You're going out there, everyone's like, what is wrong with you? You step into the meeting room or whatever, into the office, or you're out on the field and your teammates are like, what are you doing? Just little smiles, little smirks. Okay, that's number one. The second thing that you can do is you can look into the distance. Look into the distance and sit there. Look into the distance for a minute and just let go. That will get you into your subconscious. And like I said, these might not work for you. They might not. As soon as you find one that works for you, though, you grab onto it. I use all these. The third one, and I've loved this one. It's one of the most effective. Directly from Bob Rotella in How Champions Think. Incredible book. Go read it. The third one is to imagine that you're in some happy place. So for me, I've gone to Hawaii with my family for a family vacation before. There's this one beach that I would sit on. I'd do a little sunset meditation and imagery practice, just all of it. It was so magical. I take myself back to that beach. Now, my conscious mind has nowhere to go. We're at the beach. And so it really allows me just to relax. And I'm not thinking. I don't want to think. I literally just want to go let my body do it. I want to come off the field as a football player, and I want to be able to not even explain how I just did what I did. And I've had moments like that. The goal is to replicate those a ton. Right? You can't force them, though. They come to you by creating an environment, by doing these things, by creating an environment for your subconscious mind to show up. Or when I go speak, there's times where I just black out. I don't even know what's going on, but I don't want to get all spiritual or faith-based, whatever you are. I'm extremely respectful of all religions, faiths, all that sort of stuff. I believe that in those moments, it's really God expressing himself through me. My highest creation, my highest performance. When I go speak, he's just giving me the words to do it. I'm literally just an iPhone, and he's airdropping me the information. That's how I view it. So anyways, those 3 tools will get you into your subconscious. How do you train your subconscious? Well, affirmations, This is, I'm diving into Tony's work now. Affirmations aren't going to do it. I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, right? It's got to be an incantation, Tony talks about, where you use your whole physiology, you use emotion, you get it so it's grooved, it's driven deep into your nervous system. So that might be, I've got one where it's, I know Lucas Ohrstrom, and a guy got expression of health, wealth, happiness, and love for myself and everybody that have pleasure touching their lives. I'm healthy, happy, wealthy, excited, congruent, full of pride, and committed to the pursuit of fulfillment for myself and all that I love. All that I want, need, and desires instantly manifested and flowing to me in oceans and oceans of abundance as I continue to create more abundance for all to enjoy. And then it keeps going on and on and on. I think you get the idea. I have a ton of those that I do every single morning. I talk to myself. I don't listen to myself. So that's one way to train it. To shift your identity, you're only going to get what you think that you're worthy of. So that's where your subconscious will sabotage you too. If you only think that you're worthy of so much, you're going to stop making the sales calls to go make that money. You're going to stop doing the work to go get more catches. You're going to not go and talk to the person you need to talk to get the opportunity that's going to get you to that next level. We all know what we're talking about. I had a teammate the past couple of years. He would do so good in the first couple of games this season, so good. And then all of a sudden he'd start running the wrong plays. Stuff that was day one install, base stuff. He would start dropping the ball. And this guy had good hands. Start dropping the ball. He was making spectacular plays the week before. And then he would just shut down. And for the rest of the season, he didn't do anything. Because his internal thermostat, his identity was set at a certain temperature that once he got a certain amount of yardage, catches, that was it. He was done. That was it. He was done. So it would just stop right there. You got to set your thermostat up high. You do that through incantations. You do that through, keeping commitments to yourself. Doing the little things like cold plunge. It doesn't need to be a cold plunge. Everyone uses that. It could be doing the work, showing up, doing deep work every single day, not distracted, living a distracted life like most people do. Doing deep work that's impactful. That will create confidence. Being intentional, doing all these things I talked about, setting a journal. I mean, there's a million things, but confidence is the work that you put in and keeping commitments to yourself. And that's where your identity continues to go. So this is how you can train your subconscious mind. So we know how to get into it by using those 3 tools. This is how we train it. We train it by the incantations, and we do it by getting around people that believe in us too. You're going to have haters. Block that out. If it's constantly, though, you're just surrounding yourself with haters, you're going to stop believing in yourself. Get around people that believe in you. If you can't get around them, stand guard at the door of your mind and only surround yourself with the great people that are around you. Only surround yourself with people that truly believe in you. This is all just training your subconscious mind. Another one that we can do is when you have your best moments, take a video of them. Whether that's speaking, whether that's making plays, catching touchdowns, getting sacks, getting yards, whatever it is. And watch your own highlight tape and play your favorite music behind it. Do it every single night. This is something I do as well. Bob Rotella talks about in his book how he worked with LeBron James. And LeBron, this is when he was struggling with 3 points, not anymore. And he told LeBron, watch a highlight tape, 8 minutes, it's a long highlight tape, every single night on your 3-point shooting. Link your subconscious mind with joy, with pleasure to shooting threes, with making them. That's another thing that you can do too. Another thing, imagery and putting yourself into situations. You got to make it real with all your senses. You got to, smell what you be smelling. You got to hear what you be hearing. You got to see. Everyone just does the images. It's got to be more than the images. You've got to feel it. You've got to feel it, right? Kinesthetic. It's not really fast. It's not visual. It's not, oh my goodness, I'm seeing these pictures. It's feeling, right? Kinesthetic. And then an auditory, right? Hear it. You got to hear what's going on. You got to hear the crowd. You got to hear people acknowledging you for doing really well. Make realities real. Everyone says it. But if you do not do, and you say you know, you don't really know. And everyone says they know that imagery can recreate an experience that your mind believes is real. So, imagery is an incredible way to train the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind. So, I've covered a lot of ground here. That gives you guys a lot of tools. So, understanding, we didn't even go into the triads, but the triads is all these beliefs about your identity, conscious mind, subconscious mind, different ways to train that subconscious mind. A lot of us don't have issues getting into our conscious mind, right? We're conscious about our actions and how we're planning out at least the people that are listening to this, is for the high performers, the 1%ers that want to get everything out of their performance. And they're really just attacking, or you're attacking every single moment, being intentional. That's the biggest thing. We don't want to be unconscious in our daily life. Only in performance. When you're unconscious, you're undirected. When you're undirected, you end up in places that you never want to be in. We need to have our goals, we need to have our direction, and we need to intentionally take actions toward them every single day. Like I said, you earn the ability to go play free or to go operate freely. You earn that ability to be a high performer and to really cut it loose and have no fear through all these things that we just talked about. Okay? If you're a athlete that's looking to go to the next level, a hungry athlete looking to go to the next level, we got you guys. We have a bunch of incredible coaching programs. DM me at Nolan Ulm. We'll get on a call only if you're really ready to invest in yourself. If you're not, don't get on the call. We won't waste each other's time. And then if you're a business owner that's looking to take your business to the next level, your personal life to the next level, we also have a coaching system and coaching business with that as well. That's all I got for you guys. I hope you guys got a ton of value out of this. Please like, subscribe, and DM me. Let me know if you guys enjoy this, what more you want to see. Make it happen. Out.